Hey folks, Chuck Suter here, constitutionalwar.org, and I'm here with Pattie Curran, my good friend, and today mycancellation.com was in Charlotte to talk to families that have been affected by Obamacare, and there's John Locke Foundation and another organization, a women's organization promoting this, and I'll put links to that in the description. I was wondering though if you could share with folks what you were sharing with them today at this Obamacare forum.
We were just explaining to them how Obamacare has harmed my family with chronically ill kids. And for instance, this right here is, these are all the medical bills that we paid in 2013. And these are the ones we paid with flex spending. Together, those two piles, that's $21,000 worth of medical bills that we've paid. And then these are the ones that we can't afford to pay for 2013.
Unbelievable. And I mean, this has taken an effect on your family. What has been the change in the amount of money that you were paying out before the rollout of the Unaffordable Care Act started? And you know, from before till now, let's say a few years back, you got any numbers?
Prior to Obamacare, our average out-of-pocket was about $10,000 to $12,000, and in 2013 it was $27,171.
Oh my gosh! So that's almost twofold more. I mean,
yes, more than doubled.
And so, what do you think is going to happen in 2014? Do you guys have any clue? I mean, is it going to be just as bad as 2013?
Oh, I'm sure. We always meet our out-of-pocket max, and with having $9,000 in prescription copays last year, I'm sure it'll be the same this year. And we're just hoping that we don't get dumped onto the exchanges.
And forced into it, because that would be, well, tell folks about, do you mind sharing with folks about why you have all these bills and with some of the issues?
Two of our kids have Shwachman-Diamond syndrome and mitochondrial disease, so we spend a lot of time in the hospital. And I mean, as you can imagine, I mean, just lots of procedures, lots of medical treatments. The insurance company paid out over $500,000 for my kids last year. And they paid, I think it's $398,000 of that was just for their medications.
So, I mean, Obamacare is obviously not affordable for you guys. What is the process that you would go forward with to try to, you know, relieve some of this pain? Is it really left up to, you know, states to take issue to maybe nullify parts of the bill, stuff like that? I mean, what are you really pushing for politically to be done?
I am working as a area field organizer for the Greg Brannon campaign, and we just had our grand opening at the Winston-Salem grassroots headquarters for the Brannon for Senate campaign last night.
And why do you think that he is maybe the candidate? Obviously, you're going to support in this Republican primary. Why would you support him over some of the others? I mean, even, you know, Tom Tillis is considered the front runner at this time. Why are you supporting him? What does he bring to a political candidate that, you know, what separates him in your mind that somehow he's going to help your family more than
I think he has passion, determination, he knows the Constitution. I first heard him speak in 2010 at the Tea Party meeting or rally in Winston-Salem. Okay. And then last year at the Honor Your Oath rally he spoke, and we asked him to speak at our Freedom Rally. And then what really did it for me, I had a house party, still wasn't decided, I was leaning towards Brannon, but what really did it was that he was the only candidate that showed up at all of the town hall meetings, the Defund Obamacare town hall meetings. Our elected officials didn't show up, and Greg Brannon did, and none of the other candidates did. One candidate showed up at one forum, and then one candidate was not yet declared and was at 2, but Greg Brannon went to all of them.
And that was a very important time, I think. You know, memory is short, but wow, I mean, the effort to defund Obamacare, which really, I think that if Republicans had enough backbone, we could have push that issue to maybe make some changes so 2014 wouldn't be as bad for families like you. You were a big believer in the defund effort?
Oh, absolutely. We went to D.C. last year twice, and we were there in D.C. The day before the defund, the Graves resolution to defund Obamacare passed. So, no, we're very active. I actually stood in front of the Capitol and the White House with some friends with our huge Defund Obamacare.
I remember that. Ted Cruz, I believe, shared your picture. Is that true?
Yeah,
on Twitter? Yeah, that's really cool. So how can folks follow what you're doing and maybe you know, help you on what you're doing you know, obviously if you're working for the Brannon campaign, how do people get involved to help support the guy you're supporting?
GregBrannon.com.
Okay.
And I have a blog, Catholic Tea Party Hippie.
Oh, okay, cool. So, with your own activism, what has been the feedback to the defund effort in your area? Do you think that there's, I mean, I think there's somewhat of a little bit of a divide, especially between the establishment and the more, like you say, Tea Party. Have you experienced any of that?
No, not really. We had about 300 people show up at our Defund Obamacare town hall. Too bad our elected officials weren't there to hear what we had to say.
Well, Richard Burr, I think, if I'm quoting him correctly.
We protested his office.
Yes, I remember that. And he said defunding Obamacare was a really dumb idea or something along those lines.
He did.
Well, anyways, thank you for sharing your story. I guess we'll be maybe looking for some more stuff coming out of an interview with this mycancellation.com. They're going to contact you.
They're coming to my house tomorrow to film. So.
And do you know where people can check that out?
I think it'll be on mycancellation.com. I don't know if they'll use our story or what, you know, because it's typical, you know, they film and then they may edit it and we might get edited out. But I think it's great what they're doing because they're filming. It looked like today there were people from different walks of life affected differently. Each person seemed to be affected differently by Obamacare. And I think it's going to be a great project so that American people can see how Obamacare harms individuals and families.
Yeah, and it's been really stressful for your family. I know many other families are going through the same thing. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming down here all the way, an hour and a half to come and talk to these folks. And you're really putting in a great effort here against Obamacare. Again, folks, this is Chuck Suter of constitutionalwar.org. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click like, share around. I don't know what to say, folks. I mean, the defund effort, in my opinion, was a very solid conservative effort, and we've got to stand with those who stood with the Senator Ted Cruz and Mike Lee, who led that charge. And I think Greg Brannon is a fine guy to do that.